because of where we are, because the National Galleries are here in Edinburgh, it never seemed any point in trying to replicate what the National Galleries do. So here at the City Arts Centre, our collecting policy is very much about Scottish art and Scottish artists. And for us, Edinburgh being Edinburgh, and here we are right in the middle of the festival. It's a World Heritage City, it's got an extraordinary architectural environment, and in a way that's something which defines Edinburgh as a city. And we thought architecture and the built environment would be a good defining, a good area for collecting. And the motivation to join the scheme really was, it was an absolute gift for us. It was given a considerable sum of money to buy contemporary work with very few strings attached, and buying the work which I've always thought we ought to be collecting. And I think Scottish collections are way behind contemporary European or American collections in terms of buying contemporary Scottish artists. So in a way it's a sense to catch up. Though having said that, it's probably a generation has gone by almost who haven't been collected in Scotland or have only just now been collected. But the theory is the scheme will now catch up on maybe slightly younger artists. The installation works, for instance, the Graham Fagan piece, is quite a big piece. It's meant to look like a sort of institutional office environment, which is then created within the gallery. The core of it is a film, and it's quite theatrical, and it's as though it's a number of people being interviewed about a housing scheme or part of a new town, and the architect and planner talk about the utopian idealism behind the creation and the design of the estate, and the people who live on it talk about the reality and the practicalities. For instance, it's a wall right around the estate, and the architect explains that it's sort of it defines it, whereas the people who live there just see it's a barrier. There's a bridge across a main road, and it's really hard to do. You've got to push a buggy with kids up it, and you're shopping. And it juxtaposes that sort of sense of idealism about how something's been designed or envisaged and created against the reality of actually what it looks like. I mean, the other thing about it is that in terms of our collecting policy and architecture and built environment, I mean, we're just so defined by what people create for us to live in, where we live. The Martin Boyce piece is a set of 4 ventilation grills. It's a reference to the skyscraper, modern skyscrapers. So it's sort of again the idealism of a skyscraper. I think it's a quote from Mies van der Rohe. So this is the way of the future. Again, back to utopianism, right back to the 30s, 40s, 50s, and how it was going to transform the way we live, how it's going to change everything. And of course, you think back to 9/11 and how the fact that the attack took place on 2 huge, the tallest buildings in New York, and the symbolism of tower blocks, and how that's changed again in the last 5 years. But they're a very subtle piece. It's just sort of the way they're going to be installed in exhibitions here is almost that you would not notice them. The Will Duke piece is like it's based on a tower block, and it's like a transformer where all the windows start to close on it in itself. It sort of it's animated and it just shuts down on itself, in a very strange, slightly threatening sort of way. And it's quite a powerful piece. It's quite a sort of intense soundtrack which goes with it. The Christine Borland pieces are part of a series she did. She did a residency at Mount Stuart on Isle of Bute. I mean, Mount Stuart's the most extraordinary building. It's lavishly built at the end of the 19th century, a labour of love by the Marquis of Bute. And it was used during the First World War as a naval hospital. And so the different rooms which had different names have become the operating theatre, the middle ward, but also the watermelons. They introduced sort of the idea of flesh and the quality of flesh, the quality of something broken, and just a very strong contrast. Very striking, very beautiful images. It's just been a fantastic opportunity to go and see new work. It's been confidence building in that way. We've worked with other curators, we've talked to them, so it's been quite a sort of learning experience.